PL 8499 Snapshots, Category 200, Emergency Operations. Under Public Law 8499, USACE may provide flood response operations to support state, local, and tribal efforts to save lives and protect public services and facilities, such as police stations, hospitals, fire stations, as well as water and wastewater treatment facilities. There are 6 components of emergency operations, which include flood response operations, post-flood response, operational supplies and equipment, support from others, operational support, and after-action reporting. Emergency operations activities fall under PL 8499 Category 200. These activities are further divided under different classes of the Flood Control and Coastal Emergencies Appropriation. The first class, or CCS, is Class 210, Response Operations. Flood response operations provide the emergency manager with the ability to activate and operate the Commander's Emergency Operations Center, or EOC, where command and control activities relative to emergency operations are conducted. To activate the EOC, the district commander must declare a flood emergency, which is usually initiated verbally. However, it should be followed up in writing within 24 hours and reported in the district's Situation Report, or SITREP. Commanders must request funding immediately upon activation and/or provision of assistance. Some of the activities managed from the EOC will include flood response operations and direct assistance through emergency contracts to supplement local efforts. USACE Flood Response Assistance is conducted and authorized under emergency operations and funded by Class 210. There are 2 components of flood response operations: technical assistance and direct assistance. Technical assistance includes being able to provide experienced personnel to provide guidance on flood response techniques and emergency construction methods. Technical assistance can also include inspecting existing flood risk management projects, coastal storm damage reduction projects, and/or structurally threatened dams, H&H and geotech analysis and evaluations, and providing stream data, maps, and historic flood or storm information to help inform decision support products. Direct assistance usually includes the loan of equipment or regional flood response products, rescue operations, directing flood response operations, and contingency contracting, providing for sandbags, sandbag filling machines, and pumps. Remember, USACE assistance is supplemental to state and local efforts. Reimbursement is required for supplies and equipment, for example, sandbags and super sacks, that are loaned to states and local sponsors. The next class, or CCS, is Class 220, After-Action Reports. Class 220 funds the preparation and publication of after-action reports for events in which 210 funds have been used. Next up is Class 230, Post-Flood Response. Class 230 funds a district's response to a governor's request for assistance following a flood. Post-flood response activities are limited to 10 days following the receipt of a governor's request. The request must also be concurrent with or subsequent to a state's request for Stafford Act emergency or disaster declaration. Then we have Class 240, Operational Supplies and Equipment. Class 240 funds the maintenance of equipment and replenishment of supplies used during emergency operations. It's for core use only. It can't be used to replace state and local government supplies and equipment. And finally, there's Class 250, Support from Others. Class 250 funds support received from other federal agencies in response to a flood or coastal storm emergency. Class 250 funds can only be used during a flood-related emergency for reimbursable work under PL 8499. That's a quick snapshot of Category 200, Response Operations. Next up is Category 300, Rehabilitation.